All right, let's continue right along where we left off, and that was we kind of just threw in there this little cockpit part just to see what it would look like when we tilted the plane. But let's go ahead and leave it in. So let's do this. I'm just gonna cut a line across here, and I'm just gonna arc that up slightly. I'll do the same thing on this side over here. And you know what? I guess at some point, what I should do is I should actually make this into a movie clip. Let's go ahead and hit F8 on it. Cockpit. Probably those two lines I should have done on a layer above over here, but I'll at least do that for the next two lines. So I'm just going to cut down through here. That way, if we do decide to animate this, and we will, at least I can kind of move those around. So again, if we were to tilt this plane, you know, what we could do is make a different shape for the, or a different movie clip, and then just kind of, you know, move that up that way, move that over there. So again, it looks like it's going to swing off to the side. But let's just worry about the top down for now. And let's see. Let's do this. Let's go and put a layer. You know, I am going to take those two lines. So I'm just going to shift select those, cut them off. I'm going to put them on another layer. And then I'm going to put a layer just above the blue. Okay, so this shape right here, right? And what I'm going to do with this is just grab a slightly different color blue. Let's take the brightness up and just kind of, there we go. Do something like that. Not too fancy, is it? But certainly makes it look like we're better illustrators than we really are. Something like that. There we go. Always nice to have two tones of colors. Like two straws in the movie theater. Always nice to have two of them. So let's go and take this same shape over here and copy all filters. Let's just paste that onto there. That saves us a little bit of time. For the distance, I think I need to bump that up. And I think the angle I need to swing around a little bit. Again, this could be something that's useful down the road when we animate it. Move that up even a little bit more. So it kind of blends in nicely there. These guys, you know what? I'm kind of not feeling those. Let's take those out. Well, that we can leave in. I think though I do want to put that yellow right in the middle there. There we go. Okay, all right. Now let's real quick do the propeller parts. I'm going to make another layer, and let's just. You know what? Let's phone it in. No, well, I am going to kind of phone it in a little bit. I'm just going to do something like this. Maybe do that same deal here. F8, make it into a symbol. I'm just going to copy and paste that same thing right there. And just give it kind of a little bit more detail. Just give it in a little line. Let's go and grab one of our stupid little circle things. And let's start putting those other places. So maybe somewhere in here, maybe butt it right up against that line. So it kind of just gives it this, I'm gonna try to spread them out equally. Gives it a little bit more detail. Something like that. I could probably make them a bit smaller too. And again, if you feel like, hey, wait, you're moving too quick, don't sweat it too much. Figure out how to do it on your end, and then you'll learn how to do it faster. I don't want to spend too much time on the basics because we've got a whole lot of videos over at cartoonsmart.com that cover those basics. Okay, so let's just do that the circular, part at the end of the what's basically actually connected to propeller blades. So I just cut off the bottom part of that, and I'm just going to attach that right there. It is on the same layer as all this other stuff, so I'm going to hit my own hotkey for moving things behind other things. For you guys, go to send to back or start to learn that hotkey. And again, this is another nice little thing that you could put or basically make it seem like it's a bit more metallic. So probably what I do is go and make another layer inside of this symbol, and then just grab a slightly brighter gray color, and you can just kind of put that right in there. Might even rotate it a bit so it just Kind of blends it in a little bit nicer. And you could even maybe take a line through that original shape that you drew. So you can basically just select that half and then go in there and just make that half darker. Then you can go ahead and just get rid of that line. So you got something like that happening. So it gives it a nice little, I might actually make that a little lighter. There we go, something like that. And then for our actual propeller blades, let's work on a layer above that. And for these, I don't think we have to go too fancy. Let's just grab a black color. I'm going to get rid of the stroke on it. So something kind of like this. So basically a wide circle. No, we could kind of bend them slightly. Get a little something like that happening. And then I'll hit F8 on that. And let's just call this just blade. This would be something that probably automatically I would just go ahead and set the pivot point on, because at no point would this ever rotate, from the center or anywhere else. Copy and paste it. So I just held on the Option key that time to copy and paste it over. And then I'm just going to flip it around horizontally. And you'll probably be surprised how easy it is to animate these, because it's something that happens so quick. We only really need 2 or 3 frames at most. And just to give you an idea, so let's say if I wanted this one to go kind of underneath there, what I'd probably do is just squash that down. Well, I'd have to make sure it was on the same layer as this part right here. I'd go and do that. And then, just kind of bring that over or something. Just change the shape slightly, but yes, even something like that. If you did that real fast, going back and forth between where we originally had things, it's, it's going to have the right effect, I think. Okay, all right, so we kind of got the front of the plane in there. Maybe a little bit more random paneling on the base of this, which is going to, of course, cause us some trouble when we tilt this thing, but that'll also make it somewhat fun to deal with too. So let's try this. Let's go and do something like that. I guess I should just copy and paste this over to there. That doesn't look like it's as, I gotta move it over just slightly. Let's grab our circle things again. Oh, whoops, I should be inside this, shouldn't I? Might make these a little bit smaller. I have a hotkey that I use for scale and rotate. It's one that I actually set up myself, but if you want to see what that is, it would be under Transform, Scale and Rotate, just Command R. Again, that's something I set up though, so you're not going to have it. But I do find it useful, more useful than what was previously used for Command R, or by default. I like, but maybe I don't like. Let's see. Let me do this. Let me make this a bit darker. So any movie clip, graphic clip, you can just change the color effect on. Obviously, we don't want that, but I could tint it just darker and then try a little something like that. It's all right, I guess. Maybe move those up. I don't know. Too many dots in one place is what I was thinking. Okay, well we've got we've got a lot of this done. Let's go and how much can we cheat this? Let's see. Can we just copy that for the back? Kind of feel like we could. I think I just did actually. Let's do this. So anyway, I just copied and pasted that, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to using the free transform tool. I'm going to just skew that like so. Okay. And if I can make this look all right on the other side, I think what I'd probably do here is at least make these independent of each other. So if I do want to go in and kind of mess around with one of them, I can. So let's do this. I think it looks good enough. Let's go and get rid of that one. I'll duplicate this one. So I'm going to go over here to modify, symbol duplicate. I got a hotkey, so I always get confused where it is. Symbol duplicate, and that's going to make it a unique instance in the library. So I'll just call this back wing. And then from there, probably what I do is just get rid of this part that's No, I don't know. Yeah, I guess probably I would get rid of that. Get rid of that part of it, and then adjust the pivot point on it. And, so maybe somebody doesn't notice what I just did over there. Maybe we take away some of this, or at least move it around, sort of. So I could just, do something like that. Do planes have lights in the back? I mean, do they have, brake lights? Because it kind of feels like I could put a brake light back there. Right? Something like that happening? I don't know. Email me at doplanes-have-brake-lights@cartoonsmart.com. Okay, so now we just need that kind of top part of the back part of the plane. Real technical terms here. I should have at least gone to the Wikipedia article for parts of plane. There we go, something like that, right? Again, this will be a thing that comes to bite us when we try to animate it, but that's okay. Back of plane. Okay, so yeah, I guess we've basically got that in there, don't we? Is that a funny looking plane? I can't tell. Let's see. Should I move the wings back some? Do they need to be bigger? Ooh, yeah, I think they need to be bigger. Okay, all right, so we ready to do this? Who's ready to do this? Let's animate it. All right, so here's a fun little trick. Let's go and put the propellers all in one movie clip. And actually, it's not going to be a movie clip. We're going to put this into a graphic clip, okay? And it's propellers. Kind of the advantage with this, and let me just go ahead and put it behind. There we go. The advantage with a graphic clip is that I can put animation inside of here and I can see it on the main timeline. Whereas if I did that with a movie clip, it's just not going to work. And let's test that theory out. Not a theory. I know this for sure. Double click inside of this and I'm going to put in F6. It's going to keyframe it. Okay, they're all in the same layer. That's fine. We're not going to do any tweening on this. And again, exactly what I kind of described before, where I'm just going to squish this one down a little bit. I'm going to move it behind. So I'm going to arrange it behind that propeller right there. This guy, maybe make it just slightly fatter. I might even flip it around, something like that. And now, so there's 2 frames in there, right? I could probably get away with 3 or 4, but I don't need too many more than that. So I'm going to just select all the layers that I've got in here. I'm just going to hit F5. So I just got some extra, there's no keyframes, but there's just extra frames on the timeline. And so you can kind of see, so if I were to just play that, oh, here, even more frames. In fact, I should probably just go to loop playback. So you can see it's not completely convincing yet, but one more frame in here probably would be. So I'm going to just hold down Option and copy that over. Maybe just flip everything but the middle part of it. So just kind of flip those around. Again, that's using that hotkey for flip horizontally. And let's see what that does now. Okay, so yeah, it's probably okay. I mean, let's see, I guess, would you see? Well, I'd sort of have the propellers in a weird place, don't I? Because they would really be probably at the very end of this, wouldn't they? I don't know. I'm just debating whether or not to have one right over the top. Let's see, something like that. Well, if that were to happen, then you'd want to be back there. Oh, that actually looks kind of nice. Right. Okay, all right. Well, I think we got that. All right, now let's think about tilting this guy left to right. So let's look at all of our different components that we got. Well, yeah, let's just go. Let's take this part here and that part. Let's put them into their own symbol. I don't know. Propeller. The plane. And then these guys, I'm all right with them being separate, or as they are now. Everything else. Okay, so what I'm about to do is I'm just going to put everything in onto its own layer. So I'm just going to select everything, just Command A, and then distribute the layers. And one of the nice things about that, well, one of the cons of doing that is it puts in a lot of empty layers. Just delete those out, delete that out. But it also names things based on what you named your symbols. So if you did kind of name those correctly, it'll give you layers with those names. And now we do have the option at this point to be able to do a classic tween or a motion tween on them because they're on their own layers. But I'm just kind of leaving the door open for that. So anyway, let's do this. Let's go, and I'm going to hit F6 out this way. Let's just work on the main key poses of this. And again, as we kind of looked at the very end of that last video, let's kind of tilt the plane to the left. All right, so I could move that over there. At this point, well, again, all right, so here, we're going to have to take this wing off of this layer, okay? And then just move it up to a different layer. So now it's above. So, yeah, can't really... That's not going to work for any sort of tweening or anything like that, but that's okay. This wing can stay where it is. Let's just move it over here some. Let's move it in like that. And then we'd have to figure out where those missiles underneath would go. That looks about right. And these guys too. I guess they go about there, don't they? Okay. All right. Now, same thing's going to kind of apply over here with this thing. This again, that's going to come out. So it's going to go on top. This would obviously move, something like that. This would probably just become a totally different shape. So I'd have to hit duplicate it on it, and then let's just go in and do something like that. Right. Okay, so really the big thing that's kind of breaking any sort of illusion of this reading well is now the middle part of the plane, because this lining is not making much sense. So let's do this. Let's duplicate that. So middle of plane, just copy it out. Again, this is going to be a unique version of the library, and don't worry, this won't be actually that hard. Let's leave that line. All right. Well, actually, this is pretty easy. Here. Let's just move this over. Okay. Move that over. Oop. Let's take this. Oops. That's going to move over. Probably to... Let me cut that off and just put it on another layer. That would probably go like that. In fact, these would rotate slightly. Oops. Trying to rotate it. That would probably do something like that, right? Okay, so that probably solves the back of that. And I don't see why we shouldn't adjust the angle of this either. Let's do that. Make that go that way, right? So that just leaves us with that top part over here to mess with. Probably these little holes, they could just all move over slightly. Let's just assume those go all the way around. So maybe just take that one off. Oh, you know what? Let's move them all over just a little bit. Or maybe move that one back over here to this side. Do something like that. And then we could probably get rid of that entirely or just move it right up to the edge. And then for this, we could probably just scale it out like so. All right. So see how that worked. And I suppose we'd have to do the same thing over here. Just change it just enough that, you know, it works. So let's just move those. Okay. And you can see the power of using your duplicate hotkey. Remember, I did that quite a few times just there. Just that making a unique copy of it. Oh, and I forgot about this too. We need to do this central part here. So again, duplicate that symbol, cockpit 2. All right. And then for this guy, let's even get rid of it. All right, and then so really all we're left with here is probably dealing with that. I don't know what. Just gonna lock those. Without kind of knowing a definite light source, it's hard to say what this would be doing. But yeah, there we go. And then I guess you could move these lines around slightly too, just to kind of further emphasize it's moving. And the nice thing is now you've done all this, you've pretty much done the same amount of work already for flipping it to the other side too. Right, so there you go. It's got this nice little. Trying to think if there's one part in here that's really not working. My eye's kind of drawn down here to just this. I think that just needs a nice little line. Those thicker 14 width lines, just something like that. See, I'm just putting in more frames, so just kind of watch this. And yeah, like I said, I guess we could, well, you know, once we've kind of got it all together, if we weren't going to do any sort of tweening on this, and I don't think we kind of need to, or really could that well. I mean, because really, what can you do with this? I mean, yeah, you could hit F6 over here and go and create a classic tween where you could kind of move that in, but you know, without the rest of the plane doing something similar as subtle, it's just kind of not going to work, you know. So let's get rid of that. So I guess really dividing this up into layers probably didn't help us too much. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I meant to do this. When that goes to that side, let's change the angle of that drop shadow. Oop, not the strength, sorry. The distance is what I wanted to do. Try something like that. So it seems like oh, we still want a little bit underneath probably. But maybe we could get away with just the distance doing the work on that. There we go. So it just looks like that half of the, you know, this side of the wing is getting, you know, some shadowing from the base part. Well, you know what, though? I'm going to actually correct myself. What you could do is once you've tilted it, then think about adding a little bit more with the tween. So, for example, I could now keep moving it, right? Here, actually, let's take the whole thing. Kind of move it over like that. Oh, part of me really wants to just widen that out. Does that make sense? Maybe. It is. Oh, I should have adjusted the pivot on that, but that's okay. All right, well, let's see what this looks like. So, oh, you know, I think I can select all of these. Nope, I can't. What I'm trying to do is go over here to this the easing on this. Just bump this all the way up. I don't like what they did over here. Come on, guys. Think about it. That should be over here, because you can't basically hold down all the... Anyway. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I can change the height of that so much. Maybe. I don't know. Well, yeah. Dead air as I just sit here and figure out if this works or not. It comes close. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I'm going to let you guys kind of figure it out from here. But so something to think about in terms of exporting this out as let's say a sellable piece of game art is I don't think what you'd want to do is move the plane like this off to that far. I think you still need to keep it kind of centered in the middle of basically this space. So in other words, I think you got to bring it back over here. And then that lets the developer, whoever's making the actual plane game, they can figure out, okay, so when I turn left, I'm going to, apply, that horizontal move to it. So you're just in charge of the animation in one place. Don't worry about trying to move it out. But I think that works okay. And another thing to do would probably change the distance on that. Maybe even the angle of this. So there you go. Something like that. It comes close. Let's put it that way. It comes close. Sometimes there's only so much you could do with one or two drawings. But, yeah. Oh, you know what? Maybe even a little squish on that as it goes. So, all right. I've burned a lot of time up. Good thing I don't pay YouTube by the minute, huh? All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. You know what? Cartoon Smart has a lot of cool stuff. In fact, you might have noticed that the logo down here is a little bit different. We're growing. We're making it so that if you're a member, you can actually sell your game art for a 95% commission. That means that basically we give you everything minus the PayPal fee. So we'd make nothing off of that sale. So you can create your own store on the website. And why would we do something crazy like that? The only reason would be because if you contribute some game art, then you're going to allow other members to have it for free. So that's the only catch there. But otherwise, you can push people to your own store and basically keep all the money on it. So I hope you learn a lot from this, and then you can come back and start selling through through cartoonsmart.com. And if your stuff is good, let's put it that way. And that's about it. All right, have fun.